News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Reacting to Donald J. Trump's speech that we played for you, the speech in Michigan, focusing on two women shot and killed, one by a now convicted illegal murderer of her, and the other one is he's been arrested and charged with murdering her in heinous ways. He talked to the family of that woman. It's quite amazing what he's doing by going to Michigan, speaking like this today, and going on a granular, microcosmic level, speaking to the family of one of these women today, talking about Laken Riley, talking about jewelry stores where smash and grabs are done by gangs of illegals, talking about gangs of illegals also from Chile that are ravishing Michigan in suburban and even exurban and rural areas. Pretty unbelievable. And how the state of Michigan is paying $500 a month to house illegals for you if you want to do that. I mean, this is unbelievable what he's doing, what's happening there, let alone we don't hear about Michigan with the illegal immigration thing, but sure is a big deal there. So my questions for you on this: do you think Trump's speeches like today, going after illegals in a major way, speaks to you? And do you think Joe Biden's illegals who are committing crimes against us could win the actual election for Trump on this issue alone? And how big of a deal is it to you? Is this issue to you? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'm going to give you some polling numbers in a second, but let's first go to Joshua in Dallas. You're on 820 AM, now on FM 93.3 WBAP. Hey, Joshua.
Hey, what's going on, bud?
What's up?
My main statement is this, man, about people who saying that Trump is going to go to prison. They do know that the Secret Service would have to go with him because he's guaranteed the Secret Service for life, right?
Yes, so and then also about a half of the entire jail, by my guesstimation, would have to be emptied out so that the Secret Service could, I mean, it's completely stupid. The other thing is the only trial that may actually be wrapped up before the election is not any of the federal trials. It is the one that is about to begin in the near future with the Stormy Daniels stuff, with the allegations of hush money. That's just not going to, I mean, I don't see how that's going to end him up in prison, but you never know. But that's about the only one that's going to start in the next 3-4 weeks or so, even though they just dumped 100,000 pages of discovery extra on the defense attorneys and said, we'll give you some extra time. We'll give you the leftist judge there, Merchan. He just said, I'll give you an extra 3 weeks with 100,000 documents that were just dumped on him. But nonetheless, that one is the only one that I understand is going to actually probably wrap up beforehand.
And then another statement is this, they speak about the immigration. Listen, man, I wish you would have built two walls. I live in Dallas, and I'm telling you right now, the area that I'm in, there's got to be at least a quarter of these people got to be illegal immigrants, and I see them every single day. I'm not even exaggerating.
What part of Dallas, roughly? I mean, I know it's kind of like
East Dallas.
I know East Dallas. Okay.
I live in East Dallas,
and I know the other thing is too. You could honestly respond with, as we all know, what part of Dallas doesn't have illegals everywhere? But
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there's no specific place. But at the same time, I also want to make this statement too to all African Americans, Black Americans, whatever we want to be called, but we're mostly conservative. Most of us, if we had more Black Republicans that were running for office, we would vote more Republicans. So the average Black person is born conservative. We're born religious. We're not into all of the alphabet people. Mm-hmm. We're not into the people of color term. We're not into none of that. We're really about taking care of ourselves, and we through and through know that we're full-blooded Americans. I wish white America will realize and look at it and see who their real ally is. The real allies are people who's been here with you for 300-400 years, if not longer. So, we haven't turned on the country yet. So let's
What do you think? What do you think when you see the numbers, and we're hearing about numbers of African American black male support shooting up in the Trump camp from 8% prior elections to now 18 or maybe even 22% and stuff like that? Do you believe that?
I absolutely believe it. I'm telling you what happened after that last election when Trump came and they basically witch hunted Trump and put him in the crossfires of a political upheaval. Basically, I know they stole the election. I've seen evidence. I'm not going to go there. But listen, at the end of the day, the majority of black men who are basically turning over to the Republican side. It's not that we're turning to Republicans, it's that we trust Trump more than someone who can't even finish the sentence. I mean, Joe Biden, he sounds like blah, 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 blah. He sounds like listen to Scooby-Doo. Like, honestly, he can't even finish the sentence. He's not coherent. So at the end of the day, I'd rather have someone who's intelligent, someone who's not into the political scene. The biggest problem Trump had is that he's dealing with lifers. And when you're dealing with lifers, political lifers, you're dealing with people who don't value the presidency. They look at your 4-year term, and they've been there for 30 years. So at the end of the day, they're not going to have the same respect. But Trump was doing what he needed to do for the country, and I think a lot of African-American men are seeing that he represents true masculinity and true definition of being a real president, because he's the only one who, quote-unquote, we could trust at the end of the day, because Joe Biden is not it. Not it at all.
Joshua, did you vote for Biden at all?
No, absolutely not.
So it's been Trump 2016, 2020, and 2024.
Next one up, Trump all the way, man.
Appreciate your call, Joshua.
I'm not necessarily the rest of the Republicans, but Trump, I rock with Trump.
Appreciate that call, Joshua. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. It's fascinating to watch the numbers of black men shoot up in the polls, supporting Trump now, according to the pollsters, a lot. It's very interesting. Biden's approval right now, and by the way, our question we're asking right now at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 is, do Trump speeches like today, going after illegals in a major way, speak to you? Do you think Joe Biden's illegals who are committing crimes against us could win the election for Trump? And how big of a deal is this issue to you? Biden's approval now on inflation is 32% approval, 61% disapprove. On immigration, 30% approve, 59% disapprove. Jobs and economy, 41% approve, 51% disapprove. The man is underwater 10 points in jobs and economy, underwater almost exactly 30 points in immigration, and underwater 31 points in inflation and prices. It's quite profound to see this. The top three issues, according to YouGov, are inflation, illegal immigration, and economy. Nowhere in there is the word democracy. I heard this afternoon on Fox it's about 3%. So nobody gives a frog's fat. You know what about that stupid thing that the left keeps chasing? And I hope they do keep chasing it, because nobody cares. They care about a woman being gunned down by an AR-15, a man with an AR-15 in front of her 1-year-old who had no business being here and who came in illegally as a getaway under Trump. Such like that. The security moms, soccer moms turning security moms in the suburbs is what this pollster who accurately predicted that Trump would win in 2016 in Michigan is saying about Michigan, where he spoke today. Hey, coming up next, last night we had some bad storms. What you need to look out for on your home to see if you should be calling your insurance company. And number 2 on that, listen to this. Some people right now, if they do call and they have a roofing issue or an issue with their house with storm damage, are finding out that their amount they got to put down is a lot higher than they thought on their insurance policy. That is happening apparently in Texas. I will share with you what we have on that from one of the experts in it who works with this stuff every day on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Chris Crock Show coming up next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Okay, one of my friends is Rob Vaughn. He's also my roofer from Roofing Reformation, and we had I had you over recently. We were talking, and then we were also talking back and forth on the phone about what's going on with the storm last night. What do you know about with the damage that we've seen throughout the Metroplex from last night's storm number 1?
Well, we would probably, hey, Chris, sorry.
I'm sorry, Rob. I just jumped right in. Rob Vaughn, my friend from Roofing Reformation. Sorry about that. That's my bad. What kind of an introduction was that? What's wrong with me? I jumped right into the question. I'm putting you on the spot.
That is okay. So here, the damage we've seen has been focused mainly in the North Lake area. Mm-hmm. And so kind of South End and North Lake, and we've been on quite a few roofs in the last day because of the storm last night. So in the last 24 hours, we've been pretty slammed just in that area alone.
What have you been seeing? What kind of stuff have you been seeing?
We haven't seen like a ton of broken windows or anything like that per se, but definitely damage to the shingles and a few leaks here and there. But one of the things that I wanted to just use this time to kind of caution people of is what the insurance companies are doing in the next year. So one of the things that I just want to make sure is on people's radar is don't wait, because I know it's at the beginning of the season, and so a lot of people are going to be thinking, well, this is the first hailstorm, and it's early in the season, and so I'll just wait out the season and do it at the end.
Why not? Why would you not want to wait? What are you seeing or hearing about that tells you that you do not want to wait?
Well, so here's the thing. You can technically wait to actually do the replacement, but you should not wait to get us out there, verify you've got damage, and file that claim, because what's happening, and so this has happened here recently with a couple customers. So one customer, for example, they discovered, just after conversations with me, that their deductible might be going up. They called their insurance agent, found out that their deductible was going to be going from 1% to 3%.
Without their ability to decide?
Yeah, because what happens is when renewal comes around, a lot of times people are automatically renewed, and there's that change, and maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they didn't get it communicated to them, but most of the time people don't even know it until it's already done.
Wow.
And so that's one company in particular that has done that. So on their house, it would go from $5,000 deductible to $15,000.
That's like a $500,000 house. I think you and I were talking about that. So literally from $5,000 to $15,000 on your deductible. Holy crap! Yeah. Now, is this a one of the top insurance agencies that we all are familiar with?
It is. I mean, I'm really familiar with it. It's not probably one of the first couple that pop into your head. I'm trying to think of a way to. I don't want to say their name. We'll call them Geranium.
Okay. All right.
Maybe if people are familiar with their insurance companies, it'll jump into their head. But they're going from 1% to 3%. A lot of them are going to 2%. But regardless, if you're at 1%, that's doubling. Yeah. Because there are hailstorms in North Texas fairly frequently. Texas has become a problem for the insurance companies, and so they're having to kind of make up for their losses in Texas by getting it from the customer.
I'm looking at a map that came out from CBS Market Watch recently, and in the past week or two, and it says right here, average homeowner insurance cost by state. We are really high. $4,851 is the average. And you look at Arkansas, only $3,800. Louisiana, only $3,095. And little old New Mexico, $2,600. We're at $4,800. My gosh.
Yeah, we get a lot of hail. But what I want to make
hail, yes.
What I want to make clear is you don't necessarily, unless you're having some leaks, you don't necessarily have to get your roof replaced like right now. So I'm not trying to push anyone to spend money before they are prepared to do that. But they do need to file the claim before their renewal period comes up and that deductible potentially skyrockets. So the first thing they need to do is call their insurance agent, find out when they renew, and find out if they're going up. And if they are, and they've been waiting...
Particularly that deductible amount, the percentage. Go ahead.
So let's say you weren't in the path of this hailstorm. Maybe you've got some damage, but it's not leaking, and you've just been kicking the can down the road. Well, give us a call. We'll look at it, verify that you have an issue, and then you can file that claim before your renewal comes up, and then we can get it taken care of, because otherwise it could double or triple.
Well, you had me worried, so I'm checking my policy for sure to make sure, because we just renewed recently. I always try to scan through and look at the updates, and it says what the changes are, the cost variables. Obviously, they're going up for our home and auto, as they are for everybody.
Right.
Rob, if folks want to get in touch with you for roofing or construction or damage potential or insurance questions, what do they do?
Well, you can reach out to me by calling or texting 940-210-3009. You can text for sure that number any time of day. Doesn't even matter. 940-210-3009. Or you can visit us at roofingreformation.com.
Roofingreformation.com. I appreciate you, Rob, for coming on. And I'm looking forward, we were talking about you doing your lawn out there today, and I'm looking forward to you coming over and doing my lawn, okay?
Yeah.
In a mankini.
Yeah, we're close.
In a mankini.
I don't know for that close.
Rob, I appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right.
There he goes. Bye. Take care. All right, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show, we have a coming electricity crisis. A coming electricity crisis. I'm sure that doesn't shock you, but also we're going to talk about mandates under this administration, under Joe Biden, to have companies all of a sudden be having their shipping companies, trucking companies, be sending their stuff and moving our goods and services in freaking EV trucks, EV semis. Do you want that? I don't think you're going to want it after I tell you what this means. All that next. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make that a preset. Okay, what do you think here? Do you want electric trucks, electric semis moving all your stuff? Do you think that's a good idea? For Walmart and gasoline trucks and your grocery store, hauling groceries across the city or the state or the country to bring your stuff? Or how about towing your vehicle that you buy from a dealership lot, bringing it over from another state? How do you think it's going to work out? Electric semis, electric tractor trailers. Well, I'll give you a hint. It's going to be a disaster. And I want to know about that from your perspective as well. Do you want electric semis delivering all of your goods and services? Are you willing to pay more for it and have more road congestion because you're going to have 2 or 3 times the amount of semis on the road to move stuff? Because you cannot, and I'm going to give you more details in a second, you cannot haul as much weight with a semi that's an EV semi than you can that for a gasoline powered semi. Why? Because the batteries on electric semis are so heavy, because they're so massive, they literally will damage the road, so they can't carry the weight and the amount of freight that the normal gasoline powered trucks can. Do you understand? Can you believe this crap? And Joe Biden's shoving this through and forcing an increasing share of manufacturer sales of tractor trailers. Between 2027 through 2032, more and more and more EV tractor trailers must be done. And yet right now they're less than 1% of heavy-duty truck sales, and nearly all are in California. What a freaking disaster. What a crap show, if you will. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. You will pay more for everything that you consume and use. You will pay more for your groceries. You will pay more for your fuel. You will pay more. Think of anything that is delivered by a truck. You will pay more for anything you consume that is delivered by a truck, whether it be your vehicle that you get from the dealership, whether it be your gasoline that gets taken by a tractor trailer to all around the metropolitan area that they do deliver gas to you from the distributor, etc. I mean, this is going to be beyond unthinkable. But guess what else? Because, as I said, because they can't carry as much, you'll have to have two, for example, perhaps as many as 2 or even 3 trucks to tow the stuff, to carry the stuff that they would need for just one. So our roads will be super congested. Unfreaking believable that this president of ours is shoving down our throats. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Here's some more from a Wall Street Journal editorial from their editorial board, just some highlights. 60% right now, the EPA's rule says they're requiring electric models account for 60% of new urban delivery trucks and 25% of long-haul tractor sales by 2032. No electric long-haul tractors are currently in mass production. There isn't even a mass production yet, but they want to force you to do this. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't that sound about right for Joe Biden? Force you to use something as a company that isn't even made on a mass-produced scale yet. They cannot go. Most of these electric trucks can't go. I'm talking about trucks, but they're tractor trailers. Can't go more than 170 miles on a charge. Now, if you're a trucker, can you tell me, with a full tank of gas, a full tank of diesel, how far can your rig go? How far can your rig go with a load? Give me your average load, okay? I know it can be heavy, it can be lighter, or whatever. Give me your average load. How many miles can you go if you're a trucker with a tank full of gas and an average size or average load cargo? How many miles can you go? Because for most electric trucks, they cannot go more than 170 miles on a charge. How many semis is it going to take to move something from the port of California, in California, to Texas? What do you think? Or from a port in, I don't know if we have one in Houston or in Beaumont, for example, or if we have, or wherever the nearest port is that brings our stuff here. Can you imagine how many trucks is going to take to go have a new truck every 170 miles? Woo! Yeah! And then instead of taking, an hour or 20 minutes to fill it up? I don't know how long it takes to fill up a diesel tank for a tractor trailer. Can you imagine how many hours it's going to take to charge up that stupid heavy truck that'll only go 170 miles? It'll increase congestion, the journal says, especially around ports and distribution centers. The EPA says this is for environmental justice. Environmental justice! Really? So you're going to have 2 or 3 times the trucks in your neighborhood because of environmental justice? That's environmental justice? Looking at, instead of 5 semis in your neighborhood, looking at 15, that's environmental justice. Wow, okay. They're also going to generate more soot from more wear and tear from the roads and vehicle braking because it's heavier. Electric semis consume 7 times as much electricity on a single charge as a typical home does in a day. They're going to take with one electric semi and burn through 7 times the power for your average house in America for one truck, 7 times in a day. Wow. Truck charging depots. This is amazing. Ready? I saw this the other day when in Illinois, in Belvedere or Rock. No. It's South Suburban. It's by Joliet. There's a suburb, South Suburban Chicago, that literally, as you're heading down, I think on the Stevenson 55, which goes through the whole state, there is a town there. I think it's Joliet or something of that nature in that area. But they literally are freaking out about this, and they were angry because one of these trucking companies that's on board with this crap is literally drawing the amount of a small city, from electric trucks. I'm not kidding you. Trucking charging depots can draw as much power from the grid as small cities, says the journal. Some 1.4 million chargers will have to be installed by 2032. That's 15,000 a month. It'll require major grid upgrades when there's shortages critical components like transformers. We can't even build enough transformers right now. There's a shortage of them, and they're going to make us build 15,000 new upgrades to the grid a month. And yet there's not enough transformers to keep up with things right now. 3 to 8 years to develop transmission and substations. And somehow this is going to start happening. It'll cost utilities $370 billion to upgrade on the networks. Let's talk to Pete, who is driving right now on I-45 and giving us the perspective. Pete, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Pete, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm okay. I'm trucking southbound on 45 to Houston Intercontinental right now.
Perfect, brother. Can I hear a horn?
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah! Yeah, baby! All right, tell me this. How many miles can you go with an average load on your haul with a full tank of diesel?
It all depends on the tank that, some trucks don't have big tanks. The over-the-road trucks have up to 100 gallons on each side.
Okay.
I got 150 gallons, 75 on each side. I can go 2 runs, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, back.
So just take an average semi-truck. Just take a guess on what the average mileage is with an average load of a semi-truck. I'm just trying to have it compared to these electric trucks that can't go more than 170 miles, which is unbelievably low.
Yeah, you know that mandate they can go hybrid also, so I think they're going to do that first. Obviously, that was Toyota Prius hybrid. They're going to have to do that where they have some kind of engine on board to generate the electricity.
But what can an average give me some mileage? What can an average electric vehicle go? Because they're just mandating electric vehicles for big rigs. As I mentioned,
right, the weight of the batteries is going to restrict the amount of weight they can pull, and obviously the weight of the battery.
Yeah, I know that. But my question to you is, with your average load, how many miles can an average truck go if you just averaged it out on the long haul one?
Well, I'm driving for a company that doesn't send too much freight every night. My weight is not as high as it used to be. I used to pull water, and they'd load me down with over 40,000 pounds of water.
Wow.
There's no way the electric truck could go very far with over 40,000 pounds of water, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they can't even carry a lot because they're too heavy. So what's an average amount of driving with a full tank of gas for an average truck with an average load? Just come up with a number for me on that. Mileage.
You got to start saying diesel, brother. We're out here dieseling.
Yeah, I know, diesel. I mean diesel when I say diesel. Go ahead.
I'm getting on my new truck here, 8.7 miles per gallon, because like I said, I don't haul that heavy a load, but if I was hauling heavy a load, obviously mileage on my new truck would be less. But these old trucks that don't have all the computer controlled, fuel injected stuff, they only get about 6 miles per gallon.
Okay, so what does that average out for an average tank and an average load? Give me one number of how many miles you can probably pull on an average load, average truck. I'm just trying to get a number, like 1,000 miles, 300 miles.
Yeah, I can go two runs, DFW, Houston Intercontinental, and back 2 times. That's over 1,000 miles.
Okay,
and
so
I still have about an eighth of a tank left.
Okay, so you're saying about 1,000 miles is somewhat normal for an average load of an average truck versus 170 miles, 1,000. So we're looking at like 8.5 times the distance. That's profound, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to raise the price. That's basically what they're looking at.
Unbelievable. Thanks for your call, Pete. Appreciate it. Truck on, my brother. All right, we're going to talk to Bobby on I-35 coming up next with more of his answers, his thoughts on this. What will this do if we electrify semi-trucks where all of our tractor trailers are electric like Joe Biden's trying to do? It's unbelievable. It's a pipe dream to nowhere. I'll give you some more information on this. It's just astounding how pathetic and stupid this is. And this is our president's priority, and this is what he's forcing through. They slipped it through on Good Friday so that you wouldn't know about this crap. All that next on the Chris Crock Show. 4 lines open. Love to hear from some other truckers, too. And your thoughts at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you want electric semis delivering all your goods and services? Are you willing to pay a lot more for it and have a lot more road congestion, as we're hearing? And are you okay with more brownouts and blackouts on our energy grid in order to make our grid more green? We're going to get to that in just a minute. The coming electricity crisis, another piece of what I want to talk about with this green garbage. First, let's go to trucker Bobby on I-35, who wants to talk about this idea of Joe Biden forcing trucking companies to get these stupid electric vehicle EV tractor trailers, which is insanity to me. Bobby, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP. Let me change it again. You're on 820 AM, I should say, and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hey, Bobby.
How you doing tonight, Chris?
Good, brother. How are you?
Let me comment on that. I'm doing good. I drive for an LTL company. We have
what's that? Long road? Long haul?
Less than truckload, just freight of all kinds.
Okay.
We have terminals all over the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I've driven in most of them. Nothing off the Northeast up there, but the rest of the United States, I've driven it all.
Right.
Right now, we've got trucks in California that are electric. They're trying them out. And I don't know how they're performing, but I can guarantee you for us to be able to get those trucks, have the chargers and everything else, there had to be huge discounts or huge incentives for them to do that.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? And it's really not going to work. Like right now, I've got 35,000, almost 36,000 pounds.
Wow.
Okay. Right now, and I just switched over when I called.
Yes.
I'm doing 7.3 miles to the gallon right now.
Okay.
I've got 160 gallons on. I've got 80 and 80 on my tractor. Okay. When I first started, and May 10th of this year, I'll have 49 years safe driving.
Wonderful,
When I first started in this business, we were good to. You never saw 3 miles to the gallon. If you ever saw 3 miles to the gallon, it was like, holy mackerel, man! I was lighter downhill all the way. You know, I average about, I'm going to say 7.4 to 7.9. You know, on this tractor.
Okay.
Now, the tractor I had before, when I was going to St. Louis and back, I had no problem filling up and making it all the way to St. Louis, fill up, making it all the way back, and still have fuel left. You know, with a 160-gallon tank. So,
what will it be like if you can only go? Because there are no long-haul electric tractors that go more than 175 miles on a 170 miles on a charge. What is that going to do?
Chris, then you get into all kinds of problems. You've got most drivers are making money by the mile. You don't get paid by the hour. Most truck drivers that drive at night and during the day are paid by the mile. Okay, you're only going to drive 170 miles, and you're going to spend God knows how long recharging the battery. Okay, you're not going to make money. You're not going to find anybody to do it by the mile, so you're going to have to pay by the hour.
So
go ahead. How do you justify paying somebody, you know, I don't know, $45 an hour,
right,
to drive, say 170 miles? If you can do it in 3 hours, that'd be great. And then spend 2 hours there. How are you going to justify paying somebody?
You can't. They're going to have like a station for you to stop at and leave that truck and like rehook it up to something else and keep driving. This is insane. To me, there's no way they did this without. They have no idea what they just pushed through on Good Friday. They don't care and they don't know. They have no freaking clue how they don't understand anything about trucking, do they?
No, they don't. I mean, how are you going to do your 11 hours? You can only work 14 hours.
Holy cow!
3 hours on duty, 11 hours driving in that time.
Yeah.
You can't imagine the cost. If I have to drive from here, say to, I don't know, Oak City, and change, and then from there to Kansas City to change, and from there to wherever, Chicago, and change. You know, think of all not only the chargers, but the equipment you're going to have to buy. You're going to have 3 tractors for me.
That's insane, dude. I got to roll, but I'm grateful for your call. There's no way this is going to work out, and they don't even care. People who have no clue what they're doing are clearly in charge of making these mandates that have no ability to be executed. Bobby, great call. Drive safe, my friend. I appreciate. I got to roll. I apologize, but I thank you very, very much for your call, my brother. 800-288-WBAP is our number. We'll continue with this next on the Chris Crock Show, including more information on the trucking mandate, the grids, and everything.